Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a Killing Floor 2 perks tier list. So this is going to be a 2023 Killing Floor 2 perks tier list video, because I know in 2021 I did a tier list back in 2021, doing the exact same thing. However, I wasn't too happy with it, and I've got quite a few more hours on this game now, so I decided, well, you know what, why not just remake that perks video, and yeah, just put all the perks in whatever place I think they are now. And my opinions have changed quite a lot on these perks. Like, back then, when I recorded my 2021 perks tier list, I only had about 100 hours. Now I have 400. So, yeah, my opinions have changed pretty drastically on all of these perks. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So first one is the Survivalist. I still haven't changed my opinion on this, honestly. It's still a bad perk, if I'm honest. Because, you see, the Survivalist, you combine different perks together, but the problem is the skill set, it doesn't really match with the perk, if I'm honest. So, like, say, for example, if you wanted to do support and Gunslinger, there's probably a skill that separates both of them. So, you know how you can only pick between one skill when you go up every 5 levels? It's basically the problem you have with that, because if you want to, you know, use 2 different perks, but they're on the 2 different skills, it's going to be a bit of a struggle. And not to mention, with the trader, all of the weapons are basically put into one list. So it's like, it's a pain in the ass just trying to find the one you want. Well, I know you can actually go through each heading to find it, because they're all sorted into their own category, so you can basically just use that. But yeah, again, I don't see myself using this perk very much. It's a bit shite, in my opinion. So yeah, that's my final opinion on that one. However, a good perk I'd recommend is the Berserker. Now, the problem with Berserker is you do take a lot more damage as you're more close to enemies. However, you can actually block it, and there's actually a skill which allows you to get more damage when you block them. And also, you can run super fast in slow-mo, so basically if you get cornered and you're in slow motion, you can just easily chop your way straight out of there. I wouldn't say Berserker's the best with larger Zeds, but if you got like a bunch of trash Zeds, if you don't know what trash Zeds are, it's basically a term. It's basically a term used in Killing Floor 2, where it's just a bunch of smaller Zeds. We call them trash Zeds. So it's like clots, stalkers, and all that. Basically, you just, well, basically the Berserker's really good for that perk, and yeah, that's why it's an S tier. Coming up next is the Commando, and I'm gonna put it in A tier, because I mean, it's good and all, like, it's got loads of ammo on guns, you're not really gonna run out, but see, the problem is with Commando, again, it's not the strongest, but it's also not the weakest. It's just pretty average. But I definitely wouldn't put it anywhere on the level of Survivalist or anywhere below that, if I'm honest. Support, again, I would put on the A tier. I mean, guns like the AA-12, they can absolutely destroy Zeds, but yeah, again, it's not the strongest or the weakest. I mean, I don't know why, I feel like some bosses, it's kind of harder to kill them with the support. It's like, you know, support is a shotgun class, so you're supposed to be quite close to them, but if you got someone like the Matriarch, then you can't really get too close, can you? So Like, I mean, you see where I'm coming from? It's kind of like, it's a bit... Cause long range is not the strong suit for support, but it's still a great perk. It's still a very good perk. Coming up next is the medic. Now, the medic is basically what keeps the team going. It keeps them alive. And I remember my old Killing Floor 2 perks tier list video. I actually put this in about A tier. But that's because I didn't play very much multiplayer back then. I didn't really see the point in medic. But now that I play quite a few games of multiplayer, I do see the point in medic. Because basically without the medic, you wouldn't be able to survive 6-player. Hell on Earth or hard or suicidal, whatever. Demolitionist is a S tier. Like, the Demolitionist is just perfect for any kind of range. Like, it can be close range or long range. Gotta be careful though, because projectiles can explode from any range, but you know what I mean, like, not too close, but you can still get pretty close and do decent amount of damage. And not to mention, Demolitionist weapons can also destroy groups of Zeds, smaller Zeds, trash Zeds, or you can even take down larger Zeds, like Flesh Browns, just by using the RPG. The only real issue is, I think the Scrake is actually resistant to explosives. That's the only real issue you're going to have with the Demolitionist, but apart from that, it is a good perk. Firebug. Now, yeah, Firebug, I would put in S tier if it was Killing Floor 1. However, this is Killing Floor 2, and the Firebug it's pretty much nerfed in Killing Floor 2. Like, the range on Killing Floor 1, you can basically fire from like meters away with a flamethrower and you could hit anything, whereas in Killing Floor 2, you can barely hit anything in front of you, because the range on the flamethrower is so crap. And also, I feel like the fire weapons are a bit weak on some bosses. Like, I remember me and another friend were shooting the Abomination on a custom Killing Floor 2 map, and I felt like the fire weapons didn't do very much damage. Like, I was using the Dragon's Breath and the Mach 10, but it still didn't do any damage. Like, and it did a bit of damage, but not as much as I'd hoped it would. So, yeah, it's kind of nerfed in a way, unlike Killing Floor 1. So, honestly, I'd give that only an A tier. I'd love to put it in S, but it's just nerfed. Gunslinger is definitely an S tier, and we all know why, because it's the most overpowered perk in all of Killing Floor 2. Not to mention the guns are also pretty cheap, and also you get loads of ammo with it too, like Winter Bites, Desert Eagles, 1911s, Rhinos, the AF-2011s, I think they're called. There's so many good guns with Gunslinger, and once you get them like upgraded a few times, you're basically unstoppable. They also destroy bosses super quickly. They basically rip through larger Zeds and even smaller ones. Basically, you're unstoppable, and you can basically kill anything from any range you want. So, yeah, it's definitely a S tier kind of perk. Sharpshooter, I would put in A tier. I mean, Sharpshooter, there is a bit of skill to it. Like, you do have to be pretty good at headshots. You don't always have to headshot Zeds, but headshotting does help. Also, not to mention, you can also get headshot multiplier, which also deals more damage. However, to do that, you must also aim for the head multiple times. And to keep that multiplier up, you have to keep shooting for the head, which can be difficult, as some Zeds run at you and bobble their head around, making it harder to hit them in the head. But yeah, I mean, again, I do like Sharpshooter. It's just that there's a bit of skill that's needed with the perk. And it's not one of my worst perks, but it's also not really there in the top 5. I mean, I wouldn't say top 5. I'd say, if I was to give this a position, I'd say 4th or 5th. If I was to give this a position. The SWAT, I would actually put in A tier. Like, again, the SWAT isn't the most powerfulest perk in terms of damage, but it does do a hell of a lot of damage. Most of the weapons in SWAT are SMGs, so they have a lot of ammo, a lot of firepower. Basically, with SWAT, you can fire basically at the speed of light because the amount of rounds per second is just crazy. It's basically like you've got a miniature minigun or something. Like, some of the guns, they fire so fast, it's pretty crazy. Whilst it does have a high rate of fire, some of the weapons, it's also a bit expensive. Some of them, like the Chris SMG, it's a little bit expensive, but it does the job. And also, yeah, again, like I said, some of the weapons are not the strongest, in my opinion, but they do actually deal some decent amount of damage. So anyway, guys, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you for watching, and yeah, this is my final King of Law 2 tier list. Like I said before, I did one in 2021, however I wasn't too happy with it, and so I'm redoing it for 2023, which was almost 2 years later when I first published that video. And yeah, like I said, a lot of change since then, because Medic wasn't my favourite, but now it is. Now I see the use in it. Gunslinger, I don't know why I didn't put that in S tier in the first place, because it is overpowered. But yeah, time has passed by, I've changed my opinion on a lot of these weapons. And yeah, this is basically my tier list so far. So without further ado, I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.